one that does that.
What? Let me get comfortable.
Okay, but we're live, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
How you doing?
just gonna. I am alive, and you tell me that as long as I'm alive, I'm good. Right?
No, you good. Look, we sitting here. We have this wonderful podcast. We have this wonderful thing that we do on a regular basis called Love Business on Lock. People love it, love the food. They love, the guests that we have. So it is a great thing. You know what I mean? I had a challenging a character building day early part as well. But we good. We sitting here, you look amazing, you got your glasses. I'm not sure what you're drinking. I'm not sure if put your glasses back on.
Well, okay.
I'm not sure if there's cranberry juice.
It's cranberry juice.
Grape juice. I'm not sure what you were.
I don't drink grape juice.
You were drinking, but
buddy.
You partake in it. It's okay. It's okay.
Did they send us a check?
I'm trying to cover it. I'm trying. Look, you don't see a label.
Did they send us a check? Oh.
You don't see a label. How you doing though? You all right? Other than
Yep.
You're here.
Yep.
Yeah. Well.
Yep.
What you want to say? Get some off your chest. Go ahead.
I don't have anything.
Take over the show.
I don't have anything to get off my chest.
Go ahead. Take over.
I'm just glad I am sitting here with you for the next 60 minutes.
Okay. That's a show. It's still a show. 60 minutes still come on?
Oh, I don't watch.
Okay, all right. You didn't help. You didn't help none of that. You didn't help none of that.
I don't watch.
You know what I'm saying? Not at all. But you want to bring the guests on?
No, I didn't know if you had something else to say.
I don't know because I feel like I'm rambling on. I don't think I'm saying anything of importance right now. You know what I mean? So, Darryl and Kendell, y'all are on. And y'all were looking in each other's eyes. Y'all were gazing and y'all were on. You know what I mean? You were on. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
What's up, Jay? What's good?
Absolutely wonderful. I'm wonderful. I'm fantastic. It is good. My daughter purchased her first 3 stocks today. I feel like we're winning. I let her actually do it. I opened up a custodial account for her. So, I just put $100 in and she like, well, I want to invest in Disney and I want to invest in Tesla because she wants a Tesla. Like she's been wanting a Tesla for the last 2 years. I don't even know where she got that from, but she wants a Tesla. She invested in Roblox and she wanted to invest in Sephora. And we realized Sephora is owned by Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, which I did not know as well. And I felt like that was a proud moment that she, and I let her go on the phone and, put $25 in and she did, so we just going to build from that. So, and then a great workout. And then I'm sitting next to this beautiful young lady right here that is trying not to smile. Smile. But and then and we're here with you guys, and it's Wednesday, it's Hump Day, and you are spending a Hump Day with us, and we are really genuinely grateful and thankful for that.
Me, I apologize.
You know what I mean? Thankful that you took time out your schedule to hang with us for a minute. So we really appreciate that.
We appreciate y'all for having us. Thank you.
We really do. What is?
I have so much to unpack today.
Okay, go ahead.
Like when I say I have so much to unpack,
I'm gonna light my cigar and I'm gonna give you the floor.
I have so much to unpack today, right?
Go ahead.
That has nothing to do with couples or relationship or any of that.
Well, it got something to do with life.
It does.
So we're here.
So we all know.
The Lees are here. We good.
We all know. We all know yesterday, the verdict came down about George Floyd. Mm-hmm. Now, Stevie Wonder could see that man was guilty, okay? Mm-hmm. And what is so disheartening and what I realize about how much trauma we're dealing with as African Americans is that as the verdict was coming down, we shouldn't have even been holding our breath. But that's the trauma that we're dealing with, you know.
Right.
And then less than 25 minutes later, we no longer had a reason to be happy.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
We no longer had a reason. And it freaking boggles me. Like, I cannot consume it. I cannot process it. I just cannot digest any of the fact that a serial killer was taken to Burger King after going into a church and shooting up individuals. This young lady, 16 years old, same age as Khalil, right? Called for help because another 16-year-old had come to her property, you know, to confront her. Whatever the case may be.
Which was ballsy in itself.
Right.
Yeah, like I'm not, Darryl, I'm not ever coming to your property if I got any issues with you because I'm on your turf.
You can come if you want. You can come if you want. Right. But, you know, I just don't understand what warrants an officer to kill that child. I just don't get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and people don't understand why we're traumatized. There has been a mass shooting every day. I think me and you started talking about that. And then I started really paying attention, which is why when you asked me about 60 Minutes, I really couldn't tell you because I don't watch the news because I just don't want that inside of me, you know?
I say that all.
So I can't do it, but there was a shooting in Texas this week. There was a shooting at the FedEx building. I mean, there's been shootings, mass shootings every single day. You can't go to the post office. You can't go to Home Depot. You can't go to the supermarket. Where is it safe to go?
Why you mean why you black?
And you're right. Right.
Right. You can't go to the store. You can't wear a hoodie. You can't eat Skittles. You can't be driving. You can't be standing. You can't be coming out of a store, going in a store. You can't be at a traffic light. You can't, I mean, driving.
You can't drink the Arizona tea. Don't forget the Arizona tea.
And you can't have an air freshener hanging from your rearview mirror, which we've done for years.
How about that?
Right. Bad car, good neighborhood, good car, bad neighborhood, either way. Driving while black, looking black, walking black, talking black. It has really been painful. But I was just thinking today that if these particular racist officers, now all officers are not, but the ones that are biased, if in fact we started to have a law or laws on the books where officers financially and personally were made responsible and liable with their 401ks, 403bs, houses, cars, and all of that, if we made them personally and financially liable for these types of crimes, then we would start to begin to see some constraint and some restraint and laws where they can't just resign or quit. Yeah. Knowing something's coming down the pike where they were illegal in their stance about a situation, we would start to see them having, quote unquote, the same type of restraint that they would have with our Caucasian brothers and sisters.
And also if they start to see that the cops are being held accountable. Because like with now, we got guilty yesterday, but how many not guilties have we gotten? So once they start seeing that other cops are being accountable and that a black life does matter, and we have to say that because you don't feel that our lives matter. Everybody else, we know they matter. But it's like we're yelling like, hey, Black Lives Matter. And people are like, well, what you mean? We know that. No, you don't know that. Because what's happening now is showing us that you don't know that. So we have to yell it from the rooftops that Black Lives Matter. And we have to separate it to say that because clearly our lives don't matter to them. I mean, they matter to us, and that's why we're screaming it from the rooftops. But when they see everybody else get maybe arrested or indicted or have some time or guilty pleas or guilty that they're found guilty, then maybe they will think, because it's like we're just disposable to them. Like, we don't have mothers, fathers, sisters, aunt, cousins. We don't have family. It's like we'll just get rid of them like it's a video game, and then the next game we're gonna have a new body come up or something like that. Like we're gonna get 2 more lives, and it doesn't work that way. And this bless her heart. You know, yesterday she was beautiful. All her TikToks and videos are going around, and it's supposed to be protect and serve, but she called for protection and she got served all right. You know, right. She's dead. Right. And so it's just like, I saw a little boy today pretending that he was a cop, and he was like, when he was going, a little black boy. And I was like, that's going to go differently. You know, that's something that, bless his heart, he doesn't know. And you talked about Kaz, trauma. Black folks were born into trauma. We were born into trauma. We were born into racism. We were born this way. So we hold trauma in our bodies and don't even know it. The mothers who have carried us held trauma in their bodies, and then it goes on from generation to generation. And I posted on Facebook yesterday, all I said was Black folks have PTSD, period. We do, because it's like, what other races do you know that if they get pulled over by a cop, you're looking out the side view mirror praying, not that you ain't, before it used to be praying that you won't get a ticket. Now it's like praying that you won't die. And that trauma and that anxiety, when you get pulled over, you don't know what's going to happen. And that's the trauma we hold.
It's interesting that you said that, because we were in the car a couple of days ago, and well, I don't even know where we were going, but we were going somewhere. And we were on the highway, and the officer comes onto the highway, you know. And so we're already on there, but we see him coming on. I said, Jay, let him go. Let him go. You know, we weren't speeding, just let him go. You know, I remember not George Floyd, but when they burnt down that Wendy's in Atlanta. Yeah. And we were coming home. Jay had the DJ. We were coming home one night and hungry. Jay's like, okay, I'm going to stop at Waffle House. Okay, so I'm sitting in the car, and 9 million officers come up. And when I tell you...
Georgia State Troopers, and I didn't know they were behind me. She was in the car. I'm talking just like I talk to everybody. You know, I really do. I talk to everybody. And I'm talking to, you know, the folks that work at Waffle House, and I turned around, and it was 8 officers behind me, you know, and, you know, we kind of had a little small talk, but I'm like, you know, let me get my food and get the hell out of here, you know.
I'm sitting in the car panicking. I don't want to call him because I don't want him to reach for his phone. And, you know,
right. I don't know if you all watch Grey's Anatomy. I do all the 15 to 16 years. This last episode, so spoiler alert, y'all, whoever didn't see this week, I'm getting ready to spoil it for you. But it was a scene where the Black doctor, Maggie, and her fiance was driving from Boston to, where are they? Washington State, right? And she was talking to him. She just was worried. She was just like, just hurry up, just be careful, blah, 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 blah. You know, given that speech that you have to give to a Black person on the road, your loved ones, which other races don't have to do. And in that Grey's Anatomy scene, she was calling him. And then he said, I'm going to call you back. The cops are pulling me over. She was like, don't hang up. Don't hang up. And she said, just keep me on the phone because they need to know somebody cares, right? So then she's on hold, and then the phone goes out. So she has to practice surgery, and she has one of the residents like, keep calling this number, keep calling this number. My boyfriend got pulled over, keep calling this number. And she's freaking out. She can't even work because they keep calling the number and they don't get them. Now, what other race had that happen? So then her father, who was there, is like, he's like, calm down. I'm going to keep calling the number. And if he doesn't answer, I'm going to go try to find him. So then finally he calls back and she's just a mess. And they show the scene with him, all his stuff that was in his car. Because remember, he was moving. So all his boxes and suitcase, all of it's just all over the desert on the side of the road, the dirt road. And he's sitting down and she calls against the tire and he's just like shaking. He can't even move. And he's like, they went through everything, and then he's a doctor. Hello, so that don't even matter. So he's freaking out, and she's just furious as his woman, like, you know, what's going on? So that panic. Even my husband has to drive, so you know, out of state, and I'm like, don't go at night. Like, don't like. It's crazy that we have to think like that. But think about any other race. Nobody is thinking like that. They're getting the car, put their music on, and they're not thinking anything else. We gotta go through a whole dissertation and explanations and let's explain and be careful and don't do this, don't do that. That's trauma.
Take your baseball hat off. How many people in the car? Be mindful of that. What kind of t-shirt? You got a white t-shirt on? No, you don't want to wear too many necklaces. You want to all of those kinds of things that others don't have to take in or take on or be aware of. We have to be aware of at all times.
You know, I really take my hat off a lot when I drive. I usually take my hat off. You know, I usually take my hat off, and you know, sometimes I'll take my sunglasses off. I don't want to look too cool. Like I don't, you know what I mean? I have been blessed where I haven't had that. I get pulled over. I've gotten pulled over, but I'm not. You know, try not to give that energy.
Right.
As well. You know, already try to have my license out, registration already in my hand. You know, how you doing, officer? I try to give them that so to know that they're not in any kind of, I don't want you to be in danger. You know, like I ain't giving you the whole bunch of movement or anything like that. But it's, there has to be something where some kind of test, some kind of analysis, some kind of mental health check for these officers before they're brought out on, you know, onto the street because, you know, okay, you're an officer, you wasn't that popular in school, somebody, you know, you weren't part of the in crowd, and now you're an officer, now you got some power, and now everybody that you run into, especially us, is suffering because now you can finally, you have some respect. You know, I mean, I think that with a lot of cops wasn't. That's why some of them are cops because now you have some power and some respect
and authority, some kind of way. Like what you have on now, Jay. You don't. If you were, I'm just gonna keep it real. White boy, that's like the ideal thing that they would have on.
Like
they're not thinking, the preppy, the college look. They're not thinking, oh, let me take off my hat while I'm driving. Let me make sure my hood's tucked down. Like that's trauma. And I try to explain that to people all the time. And I put that post and one person was like, well, I don't have no trauma or PTSD, and that's the thing. And I was even talking to my husband about that. And I was like, I wanted him to seek therapy just about some of the stuff that he's seen growing up and some of the stuff he experienced. And I was like, you have to understand because he thinks it's just normal in a sense because a lot of Black people do because that's their life. Like if you grew up in the hood, you think that you grew up in the hood, but that's trauma. That is trauma. Some of the things that you've seen, you shouldn't have seen at 12 and 13 and 14 years old. And if you don't check it, it's going to play out in different ways of your life and how you think. And then my husband was like, he went to the doctor just for a regular appointment. And he said he brought up, are you stressed? And my husband was like, no. And then my husband was naming stuff and he was like, but that's stress. But he was, what did you tell him?
But I was like, but you know, as Black men, fatherless Black men, or with the wrong role model Black men, right? We just go through. You know what I mean? As Black people, we go through walls, we go through challenges, we go over, under, around, whatever. I wasn't thinking that some of the things that I've experienced being on my own since I was 12 and some of the things that I've willfully got into versus the things I felt I needed to get into to survive or make it, I didn't think of it as anything that would be detrimental, quote unquote, to my health, or would be health risk or stress or things like that. And when he said that, he was like, well, what are you experiencing? And I said, well, this is happening. It's kind of, more than usual. And he was like, and after he tallied it up, he was like, yeah, that would be some of the reasons why you're experiencing some of the things I have been experiencing. But I never thought anything of it. I'm like, man, this is what we do, man. We bounce back, black don't crack type of response. But as I've been growing and expanding my knowledge of things and environment, and my wife, of course, being a great helpmeet in these areas too. And that's why it's great, as you already know, Jay, to have a partner that has knowledge and wisdom beyond what we think we already know, and where we can be submitted to them, because we got to be submitted to our women too. It's just not the other way around. We got to submit to their knowledge, their wisdom, their authority. And so by her helping me with that, I begin to realize, like, man, you got some stuff that you dealt with, that I've lived with things that other people die from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us have, and a lot of us do. And she explained that to me, and I was like, yeah, I just need to start moving in these areas and getting in some groups and getting with some other knowledgeable black men and couples and so forth. So, and it's real, man.
Because he don't understand. I'm like, when I was doing at 12 and 13, like I wasn't raising myself. Like, what you mean? You don't think that you had trauma? Like, you see stuff that adults see. Like, I was living my best childhood life. I'd be bringing up shows and stuff that he know. He wasn't in the house watching TV like I was on Friday night. You get what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't. Like, I had a great childhood and a life and all this other stuff. And then I'm like, you don't know that show? Like, how you don't know that show? Like, he had time to be sitting there watching TV. I'm like, boy, that's true. Like, some of the stuff.
There's roaches running around. We got to get out of here.
And you know what? The crazy part, let me tell you, the crazy part, the flip side of that is I didn't have to hit the street at 12,
he
right?
Didn't either. Didn't either.
But because that's what we grew up in, the hustlers was the ones that was driving the cars, was wearing the Sergio Tacchini, wearing the Fila. They were the stars of the neighborhood. I had a job and everything, but I'm still trying to sit on the street and hustle and DJ and play sports, and I'm trying to do it all because I feel like I want to be the guy. I want to be the best at whatever we doing, and I didn't know no better. You know what I'm saying? I just let me go and do what these guys doing because they getting money. They driving the cars, they driving the BMWs, the Legends and the Nissans, and they was driving everything. So we don't know that because we nobody was there to sharpen us. Like, it's the same thing you saying. We got to sharpen each other. Me and Cassandra talk a lot about value in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? And when I say relationship, not just, significant other, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. Right. That's in business, in family, in friends. Like, there has to be some value, because at this juncture, with what's going on, the climate of this nation, the climate of the world, we don't have time not to be sharp or knowledgeable or not gain as much knowledge as we possibly can. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think that's why it was so, for me, it was such a big deal about my daughter going into stocks. Now, stocks, it seems like everybody's kind of going that way, but at least it gives her an opportunity to really realize how money works. We ain't really taught to be rich entrepreneurs, that sort of thing. The school system teach us to be workers and to make somebody else.
Employees,
the employee mindset. That's great.
But that's true. And like what you just said, that Jay, that's true. Because even with you didn't have to be out there, but then, I guess boys are different. You want to be grown, or like Jay said, you want to emulate this person, that person.
And we want to add the chicks.
Right.
Yeah. We want to get that shine. We want, and then
you can't be home being grown.
Right.
Like as a kid.
And here's the real truth of it. I didn't have a father figure or a fatherly demonstration of what that really looked like. Because you can have a father figure, but I'm talking about the demonstration, the day-to-day, the mental awareness, the capacity, the knowledge, and not to think, oh, well, if you got 10 women, you a man. No, that's not a man. A man is honing in on what you know is yours and for you, and you being for them, and you rolling with that. You know what I'm saying? Not the way we see it in the street. So these young guys, that I mentor, and older guys, even some older than me, it's more about let us be role models together. Let us be transparent one with another. You know what I mean? Let us create groups and things where we can grow and go further or beyond where we are together. Because, like you said, iron sharpens iron. We need each other, man. I don't care. Like these women, they got groups all over the place. They already got it. But we gotta, we gotta first. We have issues with trust.
Right.
That being transparent. And am I a man if I say I'm weak at this? You know what I'm saying? Am I a man if I expose this about myself or not having knowledge about this? And also, are the women in our lives or the women who are around our lives going to judge us for being less than a man because we show a weakness? You know, that's another type of fear. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? And I want it real quick because I know Cassandra has something she want to say. You really touched on something, and it's. We talked about that before, and I talk about that a lot. People ask, well, why do men cheat, right? Because of that same thing that you said. We were celebrated if we had all the women, or we had several women, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We celebrated. Boy, you the man. You got all the chicks. You know what I mean? This is what they saying. So you automatically thinking, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm getting accolades, and I'm being celebrated amongst my peers for having this. And then as you go along, you realize that, man, this is a dump. Like I'm losing people. I'm hurting people, and I'm losing people. And nobody was there to teach that part of it. You know what I mean? It took for you to lose and go through some things in order for you to figure that out.
Yeah. And it's a selfish thing, because when you're dealing with first of all, when you deal with more than one woman, that's called a bill. That's a bill, right? But when you're dealing with more than one woman, and you know that this woman or that you're not ready for her, when she may be ready for you, or vice versa, you gotta be not selfish, because you can spoil her for the right person that's meant for her. Right. You can destroy her hope and her picket fence and that whole thing because you're not ready, but you're just trying to smash.
Right.
But when you come to yourself and you become a man, and you come to yourself, to your full knowledge of who you are as a whole, because you got to be whole, she got to be whole to make a whole.
That's right.
Not half and half trying to make a whole. That's right. That ain't gonna work.
Right.
But when you realize that, and you know you're not ready for her, and you know she's ready for something more than you're willing to give her, let her go. Don't hold her up and hold her down, because the right person is going to come along for her. And if she's been mentally jacked up by us's, then by the time she meet the right person, he's not going to look what she's not even going to have that same ideal and description of what she thought he was, and what he looked like, because she done been messed up. She got to get cleaned out first. Got to be single for a while first, get all that residue out in order to get herself back to move forward.
Right.
Facts. What you gotta say, Dr.
What's up? Huh? You gonna have to hold it down, because I gotta make a trip.
Okay.
So you gotta hold it down.
Come on.
What you thinking about?
I was actually thinking about what Darryl was saying. So if in listening to the conversation, my question becomes, how do you love through it all?
What you mean? Say elaborate. Go deeper.
Open it up.
So how do you love through that? Like, how do you love through the fact that, you know, a man is taught this thing and a woman is taught something completely different, and you're in a relationship and you're with someone and they are or they have a selfish act and they step out of your relationship. How do you love through it all? And what are the things that make you love through it all?
Okay, with that, I've never had that personal experience. With that, no, I'm saying what she's saying, like if somebody steps out, if they cheat, and then trying to make it, like I haven't had that one, but you said that you dated somebody one time and she might have been right, but you weren't ready. Yeah, like maybe or so. I mean,
as far as that go, I had to be honest and let that situation go and be transparent with her. Like, I'm not ready. Like you too far along for me in regards of in maturity. I'm not ready for that right there. But as you talk about loving through it all,
outside of cheating, just in general, just loving
in general,
not
including cheating.
I thought you were talking about cheat. Okay, because that
no.
Okay. Well, loving through it all, that's very that's not an easy thing to do. And I was watching a show on another couple on a show last night, and they were saying something like the doctor said your love can't even be tested until you go through something. You know, you can't even if everything's hunky dory and everything is okay pretty much, then how do you know if you're able to sustain in the relationship because your love hasn't been tested? Well, our love's been tested over and over and over again. And you stay by simply, and it sounds so just basic, but making the choice to love through it all. It starts with the choice and the decision to do that. Like, it's not a big old thing in a production. That's the first step, is really making that choice. Then when you make the choice to stay on Monday, then you make the choice to stay on Tuesday, then you make the choice to stay on Wednesday, then it's a month, then it's 6 months, then it's a year. And really it just starts with making that choice to say, I guess I'll stay a little longer. You know, I guess you all right. But Tuesday, you know, you might be on my nerves. Wednesday, you might be good, because that's what a real relationship is. If anybody tells you that it's peaches, sunshine, and hot cakes all the time, they're not telling the truth. You know, they're not being honest, because it's not good every day.
Right.
I don't know a relationship that's good every day, but one thing about me, I ain't gonna front, I'm not gonna lie and say that that's the case, because that's giving a false narrative to whoever's watching, whoever I'm coaching, whoever my friend is, whoever follows me on social media. And I'm not for that, because then you have these couples aspiring to be this perfect couple. And when the stuff comes crumbling around, then they're like, well, how come Kendell and Darryl, or how come Jay and Cass, or how come they're able to make it work and mine is like this? Because people want to show you what they want to show you. And they don't show you the murky waters and the days that you want to be like, I ain't fooling with you today.
What it reminds you of? What it reminds social media. And
but you're right. But you made the choice.
Right. It's like social media.
Yeah.
Social media is the same way. Social media shows you nothing but the wins. It's all smoke and mirrors. And it's not, you know, like you said, you got to be transparent and truthful, you know, about it. It's not easy. It's not, you know, it's not all roses and vacations. It's, you know,
right.
It's interesting. Somebody, one of our friends is going through something for the 4th or 5th time, and they called today and they said, like, oh, you're so blessed and you're so lucky. And
she like, man, this guy, like, this guy,
why?
You don't even know.
Tell me why. Why am
you don't even have to say nothing. When you says a whole lot. When if I say this guy,
right?
You know what I'm talking about. Right? You feel me? When
I was like, what? I was like, why do you think I'm so blessed? Oh, because you guys have the perfect. I said, the perfect what? I was like, let me tell you something. I was like, some days he gets on my last nerve. And some days, right, the last one, the one I can't even find. Like he finds that nerve that I didn't even know exists and just jumps all over it.
What you find?
You see how bright he's smiling because he already know. He already know.
I asked her what she find though. That's what I asked. I said, well, what you find?
And then some days I get on his nerve.
You need some water. You need some water.
You know, and then some days I get on his nerves. Some days I get on my own nerve. And I'm right.
Wait, let's talk about, because that's the realest thing I done heard tonight. Because you do. Sometimes I gotta have the conversation with myself, girl. Like, girl,
right.
You wildin'. I gotta have a conversation with myself. Like, you are wildin'. Chill.
Like, sit your ass down I'm sorry. Sit down in the corner and be quiet. You know, like sometimes I have to talk to myself.
She'll say I birthed nerves in her that weren't even there. Like, I ain't never dealt with nobody like you. I ain't never, you know.
I was like, I'm almost 50 and I didn't even know she was there. Like, who is she? I call her. I say that's Kenya. That's Kendra or Kenya. That ain't Kendell. I said, I'm just being Kendra. I'm just being Kendra because Kendell is not like that.
Who is this woman I married? Who are you?
And I had to actually because it was a situation where the person was a woe is me. Oh, I'm going through this again. And I was like, look, let me give you some good advice. You have now gone through this multiple times. I would not go through this again because what I would do is check myself. Because there has to be, like I said it to Jay the other night, I was like, what the hell is wrong with this individual? Like, I don't understand this. And so as I'm trying to have a conversation, I really realized that I had climbed up the mountain and left this fool in the valley. He couldn't even continue what I was saying because as I'm trying to, you know, give him food and instill and nourish, and I'm steady climbing up the mountain telling him stuff, he was like, but y'all so perfect. And I'm thinking, you heard nothing I said for the last 35 minutes.
So was it?
But see, I guess they see something. I hate
Kendell, I'm sorry. So you telling this story. In the beginning, she just said friend. And then she's telling the story and then she slipped up and said he. I said, so it was a he. So now I know who he was talking about. Because I didn't know. I had no clue. I had no clue who she was talking about. But you got to check the context clues. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I wanted to put that out there. Go ahead. It was a he.
You just making a middle note.
It was a he.
It's so funny.
Continue.
It's funny because people do think that, and that's why I'm very honest and transparent, and I don't ever want anybody to look at what I do and who I am as perfect or unflawed. Like, I don't want to carry that. You know, I don't want to carry what I do and who I am and what I've been doing for 20 years or whatever to carry who I am. Because at the end of the day, I'm still a woman. I'm still a Black woman. You know, I have many roles. I wear many hats, but perfection is not one of them. I don't want to be perfect. Like, I'm going to show you my flaws. And I'm going to show you, you know, the flaws in the relationship. Like, if somebody asks me, I'm like, no, it's not perfect.
I think that has a lot to do with when you're in.
He's about to set us on fire.
I'm sorry. I'm all over.
He's about to set us on fire.
I'm dropping cigars all kinds of stuff.
Don't be mad on
That's why I jumped like that. Like,
oh, over here. I'm sorry.
Hold up.
I think that has a lot to do with us being anybody who's in the spotlight or servant leadership. I think the responsibility is to be transparent and honest. And for people that are looking and saying that, you know, that you guys, the Claxtons are perfect or the Lees are perfect. I think it's more about an idea. It's like the idea of marriage, but not the actual being in a marriage, or it's the idea of a wedding, but not actually what happens after marriage. You know what I'm saying?
After
or those things, or after the wedding. Yeah. So I think it's more the idea. Like when you look at, I remember you saying something on social media about every time I turn around, I see somebody showing that they got their wife or somebody a brand new car with a bow, right? Mm-hmm. That reminds me of like soap operas. So people that are watching soap operas or social media, they start to compare what they're in as their relationship with what they see on social media or what they see on a soap opera.
Or the housewives,
or the housewives.
Something like that.
Too much of anything can be bad. Too much of any of that can be bad. So,
But that social media
is that some dots. Bobby don't come.
Social media is that double-edged sword, because you use it for good, and then it has evil if you allow that to come. As far as when you start, they say the comparison is the thief of joy. When you start comparing yourself or your life and what you have and what you don't have and who has this and who has that, you stop appreciating just the simple things that you have within yourself or a relationship or anything, because you're so focused on someone else. So now your focus is off of you and off of your relationship, and it's focused on what you don't have, and it polarizes everything you don't have, and it celebrates everything other people have. And then that's a hamster wheel that's hard to really get off. And I would tell people to pause when you start to see comparing, and starting to see. And I remember my daughter, like everybody, she graduated with high school. Some of them having babies, some of them getting married. And then if she's not married or not having the baby, then you start thinking like, well, what's wrong with me? Well, at this age, why is this? And then you start questioning everything that God built you to be, and you built yourself up to be. And that can be taken down just like that if you're not careful on social media and what you compare yourself to, or what
you feed yourself.
Yeah.
What you're feeding yourself.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, we talk about that as well. Like social media is really what I call smoke and mirrors. Nobody is showing you everything. Nobody is showing you when they're in the valley. Nobody is showing you the trials, tribulations, and nobody is being man or woman enough to say, hey, I made this mistake, or I had this lesson, I learned this, that, and the third to get to this point. Nobody is telling that. I am a firm believer that we go through things to get lessons out of them. You know what I'm saying? Like we do. We're supposed to get lessons out of the things that we go through, and we can't. I've been blessed enough, and I try to give that to anybody that's listening when I get food for thought, when we on this podcast with folks such as yourself. I want to tell people that this is a journey. It is not a sprint. Everything that you're going through, you were supposed to go through, and the growth comes in the valley. The growth, there's really no growth when you're celebrating all wins and you up here and everybody wants to be around you and it's all good and everybody loves you, but it's when you're in the valley and you dealing with some issues, your money might not be the same, or whatever the case may be. You in transition. Who's really there for you? And it's okay if you're not, but you gotta just know that, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna get out the valley. We talk about, we got a thing that we say, fear and faith can't live in the same place. You know what I'm saying? They can't live in the same place, So
but let me tell you, sometimes I want to run away from home.
No, I get it.
We getting real now.
No, listen.
Sometimes I want to get in the RV or get me in one of them little tiny houses, and I want to run away from home.
You've been talking about that tiny house. You live in tiny houses.
I'm telling you.
I'm 6'2". I'm not gonna be there, right?
No, but then sometimes, you know what I mean? Sometimes, like I said, I was telling y'all, it's the choice. Because then sometimes I'd be like, I'm gonna just stay. I'm
gonna go ahead,
I be like, she ain't going nowhere.
Right. I'm gonna go ahead and do this for another day or so.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and do
And
it.
And he be acting all confident like I ain't going nowhere. And then I'm like, well, Dad, can I, people be talking about, oh, like kids be like, you hear people, kids, oh, like I'm running away from home. Why can't we say that as adults? I want to run away from home sometime too. I don't feel like doing
Darryl ain't thinking that. He know you ain't going nowhere. He's supposed to have that attitude.
Look, I don't feel like dealing with all this. I'm running away.
Hey, he's supposed to have that attitude. What you want to get off your chest?
Hey Jay, don't start now. Don't start no stuff.
No, listen. Hey, look.
No, they're having this right here. These two.
I am the most confident guy you gonna run across. So I get on her nerves because I tell her I'll tell her I had a good day in the gym. Look at my back. Look at my back. Like I mess I'm going to agitate, but she knows. That it's all coming from a good place, and I understand, and I know that I'm not the easiest person to deal with either. I know I got she deals with a lot to be able to take me every day, and I understand. I'm transparent enough to know that.
Yeah. But nobody, if you really want to keep it real, Jay, nobody is. If they're whatever's going on with them, nobody can be the easiest person to get along with. Not me, not him, not you, not Kaz, depending on the day or depending on something happening or the day. I mean, everybody's going to have stuff with them. And what I want to tell other couples, like sometimes you feel like you want to run to somebody else or run over here or leave this and go, but everybody is going to have something. It's like, what do you want to deal with? Right. That's what it is. Like,
you know what?
Down to what do you want to deal with? Because everybody going to have something, because if you're of a certain age, you're going to have something.
Yeah. And you know what I tell people? I tell people, you may think that the grass is green on the other side, but if you want your grass to be that green, water it more.
Water it. That's what I say. Yeah. Because that other grass going to turn brown too.
Won't it? And it may have an odor.
I tended to, it definitely will. But I like what Jay was talking about that valley. You don't want somebody to be with you just because it is all good. It's in the valley experience that you get to really see the truth of a person, or that person gets to see the truth of themselves. Right. When you are in a circumstance where either it's forced upon you, or you're in a circumstance that you choose, like I'll give you an example. I didn't know the things that I could do as a single parent, As soon as the child was born, pretty much a year after that, I became a single parent
of an autistic child.
Wow.
It wasn't a giant family unit. It wasn't, okay, I can drop him with mom, or I can do this or do that or do the third. No, you're gonna find out what you're truly made of when you're in the fire. Mm-hmm. It is the fire that burns the impurities off, that brings forth the diamond to become pure gold.
Say that,
you gotta be willing to go through
that.
You gotta be the process. You gotta be willing to go through that. And if you got that partner, or when you find that partner, or that partner finds you, stick and stay so you'll get your pay.
Yeah, right. Because he raised his son 24 now, and he raised an autistic son, and then of course autistic, so you still raising him as a single parent. The mother left when he was 1.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Still doing it, because when they're autistic, like, you don't stop. Like 24 autistic.
Is it really 24? It depends on their
spectrum
too.
I was gonna say it depends on the spectrum. Because
if he's high functioning in computers, I mean, he damn near a hacker. He but on the other end,
so my middle child, my daughter, I call her my mini me because she looks just like me. She is a occupational therapist for autistic children. So she has, when I say all she does is educate us, educate. So I overstand. I cannot believe we have been up here for 50 minutes.
Yeah, it's flew past.
Yeah.
It's flew. It was rolling. I mean, when you get good information, and I say this all the time, so I probably sound like a broken record, but we are so blessed to have this platform because we get to sit in front of folks such as yourself. I mean, as we are talking, you are giving us food as we're having a conversation. You know, it's that thing of value. It's that thing of, you know, us sharpening each other. You understand what I'm saying? And like, this makes us better. So I am hoping and praying that when somebody sees this podcast, that they are getting food, because that's what it's about. It's not us trying to be, you know, stars. It's about celebrating, you know, couples, celebrating great people, and giving somebody some food, some knowledge, just some a different perspective of some things that they might not have had a chance to get, or nobody has been there to tell them, or their circle is wrong, because that happens a lot as well. They have the wrong circle. You know, they have the wrong circle. So she is looking at notes. You know, she's looking at notes, so she has something that.
I know she got some questions. I know. Cass, you scared me. I know, because Cass already said, "Oh, I got some good questions for y'all." She already said it, and I thought we made it through.
No, buddy.
I've been trying to give the couples a break. I'm like, yo, you gotta ask like that. I've been trying to give the couples a break.
Yeah, we good. What you got, girl? What you got?
We built for this. So,
I ain't scared.
I have two questions, right? I'm gonna start with my second one first. Okay. Tell me something. Okay. I'm going to start with my second one first. Jay's going to answer first.
Darryl go first. Whatever it is, Darryl's going first.
No, it's ladies first, definitely now.
Equal opportunity.
I'm okay.
Tell me something that you think I need to hear after the last 24 hours.
That pain is temporary.
Oh, you better stop and go ahead and preach. Let me pass the collection plate.
And she don't even want you to say that, because I told her, I said, I might could be a preacher. You know you can't. I said, I got things to say. But no, really, it really is. Pain is temporary. You break your arm, it's gonna hurt for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You fall and bust your lip, it's gonna hurt, but it's gonna hurt for it is eventually gonna pass. So I know what you're dealing with, you know what I'm saying? Because it rolls downhill. You know what I'm saying? Like but it is going to be, it's going to be temporary. And I tell you all the time, you know what I mean, that you are really built. You know what I mean? Sometimes you question you built. Raise 3 kids by your, excuse my language, by your fucking self. You see what I'm saying? In college, degrees, you dig what I'm saying? Like, you did it. House, cars, made sure your parents good, made sure a lot of people ate, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm the one that's usually gonna talk the shit, but you've did it. Like, so it should never be a thing of you questioning anything. If it's not, and even with us, if it's not, if that specific project doesn't come through, it wasn't meant. And that's okay too. We good. We still we good. Kids good. We travel good. We eat good. You know what I mean? And we go do some shit. We do, but we make it happen all the time. All the time. We make it happen. And you don't even gotta tell me nothing. I'm all right.
Okay, no,
I'm playing.
I'm
playing. But no, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You know what I mean? It's temporary.
What I would say to you, based on the last 24 hours, is that you have to make time for you, and you have to make time for us, because 10 years from now, everybody else that will be doing their thing. But if you haven't made the time for you and time for us, then we'll be sitting there looking like people who come to us and say, well, I don't know you.
No, I know you.
Mm.
I know you. I know your ass. I know.
That's real.
So, you two answer the question.
Real. Oh, you want me to go first?
She's like,
no, we on our money. Ladies first. Go ahead.
That filled me up. Yeah. When he just said that filled me up. Like that.
It filled you up.
Yeah, man. That's real talk, man.
Wow.
I'm a biggest cheerleader. I'm her biggest cheerleader. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes she think, and I get it. I'm not, because, and I didn't mean to jump in. I'm not necessarily the most emotional guy. You know what I mean? I just, and part of that is because I've had to deal with, we've dealt with so much stuff. A lot of times you make the wrong decisions when you make them out of emotion. You know what I mean? So, I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize.
No. Good. No, I can identify with that because, she tells me sometimes that I'm hard, or I can at least,
he has two sides. He has real mush.
I got
but mush, and then
I'm like,
defense.
Right. And what you said makes a lot of sense. I think it's a survival mechanism too that I have grown up with in order to have the full armor on, especially the helmet and especially the chest plate, because the heart and the head. So where your head goes, your body follows. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think because I have trusted a lot of the wrong people because of what wasn't in my life, trying to fill up the void of what was absent in my life early, and trusting the wrong people, whether it be financially, whether it be in business, whether it be, that's my boy, now that's my brother. There's a certain class where we should put certain people in, and the people should earn the fact to be called friend. Mm-hmm. That should be something that is earned over time. And so when you talk about, in pain, me, and it just, when he was talking, it just brought up, I lost my mother not that long ago. She lost her father, and I'm thinking about her surgery, what she just went through, surviving cancer all in the course of 1 month. I'm thinking about things going on with my son. I'm listening to you. I'm seeing your pain, but I'm also seeing your victory. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. Through the pain, struggles, and through the unknown, you got to see and know the victory is yours. And not only that, you got to be tenacious about it. Mm-hmm. You got to feel that pain and do it anyway. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because the pain you're going to feel, and a lot of time pain ushers us into the place that God wants us to go and be and become. Amen. Yep. Through your pain, through your tears, you're shedding some stuff. Yeah. You're growing, you're accepting, you're shedding some stuff. Mm-hmm. So through whatever you guys together, as well as individually, are dealing with, and we are dealing with stuff too. We ain't gonna sit up here and act like we ain't dealing with nothing now. Right. The stuff that we're dealing with, I think it's important to grow through it together. Be transparent. Just like what she said to you, my wife, it just reminded me of my wife saying similar things to me over time. And one of my struggles have been, how do I, when you're Kendra, when she's Kendra, and Kendra can be fierce and vicious, right? And can trigger some stuff in me. And so how do I still love you and protect myself from you? Oh, wow. Okay. And so, you follow me? Because of triggers now.
Because of his, and that's what he was talking about, because of his experience.
Not because of her, but because of the triggers or the reminders or what I call the residues of other circumstances and situations that you willfully put yourself in, or that you just or naturally have been a part of. And so in the, before we even got together, I went through a whole almost 4-year period of celibacy.
Mm-hmm. And I did too.
Just to get cleaned out of every person, place, and thing, or especially individual that you've been with, whether it's romantically or however, you got to get clean. You literally got to get clean. Because how can you get married how can you get married in the physical or spiritual sense if you still married with everybody you slept with? Because once you connect physically, if we go on biblically and spiritually, you are married to those individuals. And that could be residue, that could be anxiety, that could be all of those different things. You end up marrying that person, maybe not in the legal sense, but those residues and imperfections, and my family was alcoholic, or all those things come upon you. Then you got to add the time frame that you're in those relationships. And what comes with what's the back and forth? Was it a violent or domestic relationship? Was it verbally abusive? Whether it's a relationship where I just buy you everything because now I'm trying to buy you because I'm just trying to be cool or be that guy.
Because if I say something that, like, if I say something that triggers something that somebody else said to him, then his response may not be to me. It might be to the other person, because that's the trigger. You get what I'm saying? So if I say something, it might not even be that deep, but because the last person went deeper, then it's like, if you don't deal with that part, then it's like, okay, well, what did I say so bad? But it really ain't what I said so bad. You get what I'm saying? So, I think that's
we back at therapy.
Yeah, that's why exactly. And that's what I was, and that's why I was telling him, with a lot of different things. I just had this conversation with him the other morning, Sunday morning. And I was like, babe, I really think you need therapy, not because, and that's why I want to really just eradicate that. And even as a life coach, when people come to me, like, I just want to eradicate, like Les Brown said, you ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. And that's the thing. And I advocate for, that's tough. And I advocate for people, getting help, and really just because you can't be the best person you can be if all that stuff is in the way. It's just like trying to get from here to the door, but you got luggage, you got trash, you got baggage, you got a dresser, you got a bike, you got this, you're gonna be climbing over stuff just to get to the door because you can't, it's not a clear pathway. And that's what stuff is. The residue, that's all of that stuff that you're not dealing with. Instead, you just kick it to the side, you just move it over, you just roll this bike over here, but you're not getting rid of it. You're not putting this in trash bins. You get what I'm saying? You just kicking it and moving it inside to a clearer path, but it's not healed. And even though he's been, successful or doing things in his life, but you still need to get that because some bad stuff has happened to him. You get what I'm saying? So you can't just bottle it up and push it down and keep it pushing because you got to deal with that stuff. So you has asked, what would I ask? You said in 24 hours. How did you pose it?
I said, I said, look at each other and tell the other person something that they needed to hear after the last 24 hours.
I would say to listen more, listen for understanding, listen, not just hear my voice, but to listen to the words that I'm saying and not wait for your time to talk, because you're going to miss gems and valuable things where you can see the core of me if you actually listen. But instead of listen with a defensive ear, listen with an understanding ear to get understanding. Because if you're listening to get understanding, then you will hear and things will de-escalate. But if I'm talking and you're talking over me, then you're not going to hear really what I'm saying. You're going to hear what you think I'm about to say, and then you're going to get mad based off what you think I'm about to say and not what I'm actually saying.
Are we related? Are we related?
Kendell, listen.
Are we related?
Did y'all have a course? Did y'all have a course? Was it a class?
I'm guilty, man. I'm guilty.
Was it a class that y'all went to together?
Oh my God.
with the notes. You know what I'm saying? Like with all the notes to the test.
I need to know your parents.
Y'all sound. Yeah, when you were talking,
that's why we started laughing.
We are smiling and laughing because I'm like, I whispered like, that sounds like you. Like it really did sound like her talking to me. Like you're listening to respond. I need you to listen to hear me. Hear what I'm saying. You're listening to defend.
I was looking at him. I didn't even see y'all.
Yes.
Man, that's why I was getting emotional because even when you were talking, Jay, I was hearing her say just what she said. I was hearing that. That's why I was getting emotional because it was just like, okay, it's not about hearing, it's about comprehending, understanding, and not being ready to reply, not being ready to be defensive, because again, triggers, all these other situations that we deal with in life going on, and you're assuming, and stop assuming. That's another thing. Stop assuming you know what is what and what's about to be said or what she meant by it. Hear what she's saying in order to understand what she means.
Yeah. But when I was interviewing y'all, remember Jay, I said, you remind me of my husband. And remember Kaz, and I said, and you remind me of me. Remember I said
that? Yes. Yeah.
She's stuck.
Listen.
Oh, so now I guess it's Darryl's turn now. I'm scared. From the last 24 hours.
From the last 24 hours, what does she need to hear? Trust me.
Okay.
Just trust
me. Flat out.
Trust me.
Flat out.
Trust me.
I'm saying it like flat out. Okay. I got it. Listen, I got it. I don't even know if she got another question because we gave so much food on both of them. You know what I mean? Like on that one question, I'm not even,
I do have another one, but I'm like, well, damn. I do. I'm like, well, damn.
No, it was this was great. This was really, really good. It was great.
I want to ask my second question.
Okay.
If I give you 30 seconds to say something to me without consequences, what would you say? Go. You only have 30 seconds, buddy.
You don't want me to say that.
I did. Whatever. I'm giving you 30 seconds without consequences.
Woman the fuck up.
What happened?
Woman the fuck up. There's no consequences.
You said this is no consequences.
I don't want to hear this later. I don't want to hear it later. What'll happen?
Jay, you got witnesses now. You got witnesses.
Right. She'll wait and we'll sit down and let me ask you something. That's how it's going to be presented. Let me ask you something.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that again, and that's all to piggyback on, what we said before. You really are built. You dig? Like you are really, really built, and he ain't put nothing on you that you can't handle. And I know what you're handling is tough because I don't know how I would do it. You understand? I don't know, but I know that the person sitting to the left of me can handle it, and that's why you're put in the place. Is the reason why that people look to you.
You've gone to 2 minutes.
I'm sorry. I said 30 seconds. I said what I said and needed to say in 30 seconds.
So what I'm gonna say is really easy. No consequences, right?
I'm not gonna say no.
I need you, and I need you to show some comfort, because what I am dealing with, I don't need you to pull emotions out. I need you, and I need you to show comfort.
I got you. You know what I mean?
Yes, come on.
I had to work out.
I can't.
You put on makeup. I know it though.
I put makeup on you.
I know it. I know it. No, I ripped the. I ripped it today.
But I'm sorry. Okay, you guys, go ahead. 30 seconds or less. No consequences.
Okay, it's my turn.
Yep.
Step up. All right, mine is step up and allow me to take my cape off.
No shit, D. Oh, shit. I don't have nothing to say. I'm waiting for you to say something.
Ooh.
I'm too busy gulping.
He's too busy gulping.
That's a lot to swallow.
Hey, how I leave? How do I leave?
Yeah, no, we here. We here. Hey, D. You got the floor, D. You feel it.
Oh my God, Jesus.
You feel it.
Would you stop? Would you let them answer? Oh my goodness.
Chest,
I'm not doing that. I'm not. Would you get off my hand? Oh my God. Please answer the question so that he can stop being that butthole that he is.
So my response would be, you don't have to have the cape on. You just believe you have to have the cape on. That's why I go back to trust me.
Oh, I gotta leave. Let's leave.
Man, y'all not gonna get me in trouble. Y'all not gonna get me or her in trouble. I'm getting the hell out of here.
He was trying to say something.
I just said go. I just said what I said. Right? You don't have to have the cape on. You may have been used to wearing the cape. You don't have to have the cape on. I'm more than capable, more than able. I'm built for this.
If I was you, I'd be quiet. I'd be quiet.
There's a lot of building in here.
As you, I'd be quiet.
A lot of building.
I need some water.
So it's been an hour and almost 15 minutes. Wow. Friday, we have Darren and Kimmo. Darren is from Black Enterprise.
We're coming back.
Yeah, you're coming back.
We're coming back.
I'm gonna tell you why you're coming back. You're coming back because I still think it's a lot of food that you have to give. You have to give us, and because we got to such a great conversation, I know with some food that it was a meal that you weren't able to serve up. You still had some stuff you was cooking up, so that's why we definitely are going to.
We'll see the Lees next Wednesday.
Have you guys back, and
we will see you guys next Wednesday. But on Friday, however, we will have Darren and Kimmo from Black Enterprise. Amazing couple, love them to death. She's an entrepreneur. And he is a writer for. Wait, get a room, people, please. And he's a writer for Black Enterprise. And then on Wednesday before, you guys come back on. We will be doing an IG live with We Empower. Yeah, it's called We Talks with We Empower on IG live, and we are going to go through your IG.
We always go through.
Yeah, we're gonna go through at J Claxton. As always, what?
We need you guys. Shameless plug. Whatever you had.
I didn't finish. I was gonna toss over to you.
I'm sorry.
No, I'll just have.
I said I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry.
Anyway. As always, you can follow us on Love Business on Lock. We have a couples retreat coming up in October in Phoenix. We have a radio station launching.
My hands, look at my hands.
Okay, no.
I'm sorry.
No. We have a radio station launching this summer. So for all things us, you can follow us at Love Business on Lock or at Jay and Casse. And
you got it now.
Nope. No, it's yours.
No, you got it. Close.
This is what you did.
Close.
No.
You close.
I prefer for you to
close.
I think.
Listen.
I think it's sexy when you close.
No, listen. You had that. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Jay, like, no.
Listen, I know I don't have no issues. I'm confident. I need you close. Finish.
This is your opportunity to give us your shameless plug, whatever you have going on. Go.
Okay, well, I have a new book that just dropped, My Personal Journey of Peace. It's a 30-day guided journal workbook. It's nice and big. It's 179 pages, because in this chaotic world, you want to discover or rediscover or claim or reclaim your peace. So I give functional ways as a guided journal for you to do your self-work. So I will guide you through the journal. But the journal is on Amazon.com as well as my other books. But this journal has a workshop attached to it if you decide to do that. So the price of the book has a virtual workshop as well. But I'm not just saying it because I wrote it. The journal is amazing. Like, it'll have you going in there so you can center yourself and discover or rediscover your peace in this chaotic world. Because you got to take care of this first before you have this, right? So this is not a woman's journal or men's journal. It's for everybody who wants to grow, heal, rediscover things about themselves, remind them things about themselves. So the journal is available on Amazon.com, and my other books are there as well. And you can find my life coaching, and I'm available for speaking gigs and life coaching and panels and all of that good stuff. livingtruelivingyou.com, all spelled out the real way, like YOU. So livingtruelivingyou.com. And if you want to hit Darryl and I up, you can email us at Darryl and Kendell, KENDELL @gmail.com. And all social media platforms, I'm Kendell Lanice. So
if anybody's looking for jobs, job opportunities, job training, you can go to REIGN, REIGN Ultimate Solutions, REIGN Ultimate Solutions Network.com. If you're looking for any kind of jobs, placement, training, GED programs, nursing, CNA, GNA licensing, any of that, you can go there. Also, I'm co-founder as well as vice president of Outcast Food Network. You can go to outcastfoodnetwork.org. We serve about 1,000 people a month. Food as well. I'm talking about good food now. I ain't just talking about, I'm talking about healthy food now. Vegetables, kids lunches, things like that. As well as, so we're doing that in the Baltimore, Maryland area. Soon to be moving in the Philadelphia area and throughout the state. Also, look out for my book coming out before the end of
autobiography, y'all.
Before the end of the year. It's going to be something that's going to captivate you, teach you, train you, motivate you, and man you up or woman you up, and so forth. So,
and we're both available for speaking engagements. And, we're very open and honest with our lives to help people heal, because that's really what it's about. And I think Jay said it earlier. It's not this, like, our platforms are not for celebrity to get fame. It's not for us. It's for us to give what we have, because we truly believe that whatever we're going through and whatever God places in our steps is really to help other people. So we can use our voices to do that. That's what we're all about.
Kingdom building.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's okay. Whoever's watching, it's okay to fall. It's okay to fall flat on your face. It's okay. If you got to fall several times, you can get back up. Whatever you're going through, don't think that this is it, because this is not it. This could be the start. And it's determining whether you're going to get up or whether you're going to stay laying down. Because if you get up, then the rest is going to be a cakewalk. But you have to know that you're worth getting up. So when you get up, you can attack whatever you need to attack. And if it's a lot of things going on in your life, bite-sized pieces. Deal with this one, then deal with that. Then almost like Pac-Man. Remember that game? Get that, get that, get that. But if you're looking at everything in a big picture, it's going to be overwhelming. You're going to have anxiety. So start with bite-sized pieces, but whatever, just if you don't know that you can get through this, and I'm talking to somebody, if you don't know that you could get through this, think about the times where you thought you weren't going to get through that. And God carried you through that. Sometimes you got to remind yourself of who you are and whose you are.
Got to start a journal.
Absolutely.
And drowning is not an option.
Yeah.
Standing still is not an option. Fear, false evidence appearing real will paralyze you.
Yeah.
Get out, get it done, because at this time and stage in your life, every day should be Monday.
Right.
Every day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every day should be Monday. Get up and do the thing that you never thought you could do. Take your dream off the shelf, dust it off, because God got a plan for you.
Right.
Say that.
Get it done. Get
Say
it
that.
done.
Say that.
Drop the mic.
Listen, we are truly grateful that you guys took the time to spend with us. We are really grateful. Thank you so much. It's hump day, so hopefully with this food, this meal that we served up, somebody is getting over the hump, and the end of their week, they're able to put some of the things that we talked about into play in their lives and push on and be better, because we had an opportunity to talk to you guys on the Love and Business Unlocked platform. So thank you so much. We're truly grateful, thankful for you guys. And I want you guys to really enjoy the rest of your hump day. We thank you. Want you to hold on for a second once we close out, just so we can wrap to you for a second offline. But like I always tell everybody, please keep all negative energy people out your circle. You pick up the 5 habits of the 5 closest people. You pick up the habits of the 5 closest people to you, and that is really, really true. You probably don't even realize it. So keep all negative things and people out your circle. It's the Love and Business Unlocked podcast. Thank you so much, Darryl and Kendell. Thank you so much. We are truly grateful, and enjoy the rest of your night and the rest of your week. Y'all hold on for a second, all right?